Welcome back. This is Kevin here at Cochran Bell Wealth and Tax Strategy. We hope you've been enjoying our video series on tax and retirement planning. Melinda and I tried to develop some good video content, and so if you like it, give us a like and leave some comments below. This week I'm going to talk about retirement dreamcasting, and so this is one of those we talked about a little bit last time about financial wellness in order to get us to this point. Well, hey, let's talk about at this point and what that looks like for us, because everybody's retirement is different. So the first key point is one I always kind of chuckle about, but it's who you're going to spend your retirement with. Danny, who is my mentor and also my father-in-law, jokingly says if he retired tomorrow and he just spent all of his time at home, he'd either be dead in 6 months or divorced in 3. So again, you got to look at, is the other spouse ready for you to retire and spend time with? Sometimes yes, sometimes it's, let's get you out of the house and develop some new hobbies. Speaking of hobbies, is your working career is over? Is there anything during your working career that you've developed that you want to do, or maybe you haven't had time to do? And so you got to look at, okay, well, maybe I want to garden more, or maybe I really want to get my handicap down and golf more. Things you got to realize, is it, again, in my budget, or am I physically able to do that? Yours truly can only do a couple rounds of golf during the week. I don't know how those majors do it 4 times, on a weekend. And so, again, kind of be realistic about, what you want to do going forward. Another thing is, what are you passionate about? What gets you out of bed in the morning? And obviously that was, going to work for a large contingent of us. But now that that's over with, or you may be moving on to a second career, kind of find something that you really want to do, and study on it, read up on it right now, because again, things are changing so rapidly with the technology we have, and also in the grand scheme of things, we are living longer. Life expectancy for most Americans are upwards of 90 to 95 years young. So again, find something to do, and if it doesn't work right away, well, let's just try something else. How am I going to stay active and healthy in order to get to that mark? Well, as equally important, again, like we have a financial plan, you got to have a kind of a wellness plan too. Studies have shown remarkable results in favor of de-stressing and onset dementia and Alzheimer's if you stay not only physically active, but socially active too. So being involved, in civic groups, volunteer groups. One of my favorite examples is I had a client who was in education for their whole life. They wanted to get down to basics, and so they just went and did tutoring at local elementary schools and taught kids how to read or help them with some math problems. And so finding fulfillment in what you want to do and what you're passionate about. Another great example is we had a client who was a music teacher, loved to play piano. Now that was over with, and she would play at her church and other functions, but she wanted some more out of it. And so she actually had the idea to call some nursing homes and assisted living centers to see if she could come play their piano in their parlors. Yes, and she went in there, and it was a full house. It was almost like Carnegie Hall, she says. So she found a lot of fulfillment and passionate about it. And of course, the residents were passionate about it too, to bring a little bit of home to them while they were away. How about, what is this going to look like for my budget and retirement? Well, one thing you always want to key in on too is Medicare is a big topic, and we'll actually have a video series on that as well, and what that looks like as far as your insurance premiums and what's Medicare going to cover or not cover. So again, being cognizant of that before we look at turning that on is going to be really crucial too for you guys. How about traveling? Well, inflation is not going to be really stagnant going forward. It's not very transitory, as we've seen. So it's here to stay. And so, maybe those trips overseas to Europe or the tropical islands, maybe we budgeted for that maybe 5 or 6 years ago, but you look at it now and say, wow, that's a little more expensive than what we were anticipating. Well, there you go. And so you can expect inflation to continue to rise. But if you have a detailed retirement plan and budget, we should be okay going forward. But again, being cognizant of that. And again, I'm going to touch on my mentor and father-in-law again. I'm not picking on him, I'm just touching on it because he gives great advice. And one of the things he told us is one-time expenses. What are these big one-time expenses you're looking at? Well, I'm a father of a little girl. She's going to be turning 5 in December, and I got to plan for her college, of course, but I'm typically, not going to be ready for the wedding day. Danny's prime example is whenever I first met Melinda, my senior year of college. Well, we knew we were going to love each other and marry each other from the few weeks in. And as Danny says, he was not quite ready for that wedding expense the summer after our senior year. So again, be cognizant of those one-time expenses and to make sure that you have enough saved up for those, especially if you are in retirement. So again, I hope you guys learned a few things and hopefully laughed at a few of my crude dad jokes again. So I don't apologize for that until I am, okay? You guys take care. We hope you guys come back and see us again, and always drop us an email or phone call if you have more questions. Thank you guys. We love you.